St. Augustine is one of those cities you can visit dozens of times and still not see everything. From historic landmarks and tourist attractions to national religious shrines and some of the most exquisite architecture you'll find in the state. The nation's oldest city literally has something for everyone and for every budget. While many of the most popular things to do in town require money, there are a great number of options that are free or operate through generous donations. On today's episode, we're kicking off a new series here on the channel. We're taking you around town, sharing with you 10 free things to do in St. Augustine, the first installment. Those tips and so much more straight ahead from the First Coast. This 40-acre waterfront site was the location of the first legally sanctioned free African settlement predating the founding of the nation. In the mid-1700s, Fort Mose was a sanctuary for those fleeing slavery from the English colonies in the Carolinas. While the fort is no longer here, efforts are underway to reconstruct this vital and overlooked piece of American history. A small museum on property charges a nominal admission fee that will help you with your understanding of this fascinating story. Constructed during the first Spanish period in 1691 and constructed of tabby and coquina, what you're looking at is one of the oldest structures in the city. It was purchased in 1785 by Father Miguel O'Reilly, an Irish priest in service to the Spanish crown. He made sure upon his death the house would belong to a religious order devoted to education. Since 1866, the Sisters of St. Joseph have been the guardians of the O'Reilly House. Located in uptown San Marco is what locals refer to as the Sacred Acre. It was here on the north side of the city where this land was proclaimed for Spain in 1565. Shrines and statues dot the well-manicured landscape along the Matanzas River. Highlights on campus include a massive cross that towers more than 200 feet above the marshes of the Matanzas River, a shrine to the Virgin Mary that's a popular pilgrimage site for prayers concerning pregnancy, and a small museum that contains the original casket of the founder of St. Augustine. There's no admission fee for the museum or grounds. Donations are greatly appreciated. When you shop St. George Street in St. Augustine, make some time to check out the smallest walk-in museum in the nation. Carpelis Manuscript Mini Museum opened last summer and is free. Regardless of size, the mini museum packs a punch with 40 exhibits of copies from their original collection, which is the largest private manuscript collection in the world. On the grounds of the St. Francis Barracks headquarters of the Florida National Guard, you will find the St. Augustine National Cemetery. First burials took place here in the 1820s, but what this landmark resting place is most known for are these 3 coquina pyramids. They were erected in 1842 to mark the end of the Second Seminole War. Beneath them are the remains of more than 1,400 soldiers who died during those conflicts. The pyramids are known as the Dade Monument, named to honor Major Francis Dade. Dade and most of his men were killed during a brutal ambush by the Seminole in 1835. During the early 1900s, this building was an ice plant. Today it's home to the St. Augustine Distillery. Take a free tour and learn how small batch vodka, rum, gin, and whiskey are made. Treat yourself to a free sample of a Florida Mule made by the experts. You can partake in sampling a number of drinks, but the Florida Mule seems to be the favorite of most folks. This national landmark shrine is dedicated to the first colony of Greek people who came to America in 1768. The chapel is one of the most unique of its kind in the Western Hemisphere. It contains elaborate Byzantine-style frescoes of many apostles and saints of the Christian Church. While enjoying the free air conditioning, check out some of the pieces behind glass and take something back home from the gift shop. Gilded Age tycoon Henry Flagler constructed a lot of architecturally rich properties in St. Augustine, but one of my favorites is what he called the Hotel Alcazar, today housing the Leitner Museum. Free to visit is the courtyard with its soothing water features, including a pond with large koi fish that you can pay to feed. Then go inside to check out the former hotel's swimming pool, the world's largest at the time and the first in the Sunshine State. The pool area today is used as a restaurant and special event space. This building in the heart of town has served a number of purposes over the centuries, from being a governor's house, briefly as capital of the Florida Territory, and eventually a post office and customs house. Today, space on the main floor is utilized as a museum gallery, which plays host to rotating exhibits that are free and open during regular business hours. At the southern tip of Anastasia Island is Fort Matanzas National Monument. This coastal stone fort was built by the Spanish in the 18th century and is only accessible by passenger ferry operated by the National Park Service. Boarding passes are limited and available on a first-come, first-served basis. Be sure to arrive early in the day if you want to explore the fort. That's it. 10 of the best free things to do in St. Augustine. What would you add to the list? Let us know, and you might see it in the next installment of this ongoing series. Hey, one last thing before we go. We make lots of travel guides from Florida and beyond, many here in St. Augustine. Take a look at some of our previous videos and our archives. As always, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.